Hello everyone and welcome to my fully interactive Facebook Lives with the wedding guru Oscar. Today I have the pleasure of hosting Euan Lawrence from the Tartan Entertainment group for a live interview for you guys. I'm super excited, so is Euan. He's been really busy working with so many weddings and parties and bookings in the past wee while, and he's obviously looking forward to a lot more weddings at the end of the year and next year as well. We've organised quite a few things for you today as well, and we are going currently live in my Facebook page, The Wedding Guru Oscar, and also in my Facebook group, which is the Interactive Facebook Lives with The Wedding Guru Oscar. So if you're in either of those groups, you are in the right place, and we're just getting started right now as well. I'm seeing a few faces popping up just now, so that's fantastic. We've got actually Trav from the Tartan Entertainment. Hello, Trav. Good to see you. Thank you very much for joining us as well. Trav actually works as part of the Tartan Entertainment group. So it's great to have him with us, and hopefully he will get involved a little bit as well. So before we get started, I wanted to go with you guys through a couple of housekeeping things with you as well. So it is a fully interactive live streamed interview, so we highly encourage questions. I have come up with a list of questions for you and to get organised for today in advance, so we'll go through these questions as well. But as we're going live, I will be stopping after each one of my questions and checking back with your comments and questions as well. So as I said before, the more questions we've got from you, the more comments, the more feedback and opinions we've got from you in the comment box below, the more interactive we can make it, the more relevant and the more exciting we can make it for you as well. I suppose it's also about the information part, and obviously Euan's got tons of experience in entertainment for weddings, so he would love to share that advice with you guys, and that's a one-off opportunity for you to actually ask those questions live, and this is especially made for your session today as well. As we're going through these live sessions today, make sure you say hello in the comments below. Let us know your name. Let us know where you're joining us from as well. Because we're using a streaming software called StreamYard, you might see in the little description above our heads right now, there is a little link where you can give permission to share your name on the screen as well. If that's something you would like to do, head over there and just click on that link. It will give permission to share your name. If you wouldn't want to do that, but you would want to ask questions, comment, and give us feedback, go ahead, do that as well. But if you're commenting, just make sure that you pop your name before you ask the question so we can come back to you specifically as well. As we're going through these live sessions with you guys, it would be lovely if you'd want to take a couple of selfies of watching these sessions and pop them in the group on my Facebook page as well. We would love to share it with the rest of the world and obviously involve more couples out there that could benefit from these free and full-on advice for wedding planning couples as well. If you are, however, watching us on repeat, make sure you comment #repeat in the comment box below so that Euan and I can come back to you with any questions after the live session is finished, and make sure we've answered all the questions for you as well. And I hope this gives you quite a nice introduction overview. We've got a few faces still joining us on the group, so great to have you all with us. We will be posting little comments and feeds on the screen as well, so feel free to make those comments as well. I'm just going to let you know that in terms of the structure of today, we will start with a little introduction, and we will then move on to the official interview, and we will finish with an open Q&A. Although I have said you can ask the questions throughout the session, and we highly encourage that as well. There will be an opportunity to ask questions right at the end of the session as well. So don't worry if you don't get the opportunity of asking the question at the time. We will have the opportunity right at the end as well, and we will try to answer as many questions as possible during the live. If we're very busy and there's a lot of questions and you're very engaged and interactive, we might come back after the live is finished. As I said, those videos will stay on my page and on my group as well, and we'll be able to respond to all the questions and answers there as well. Okay, A little introduction about myself. My name is Oscar. I am the wedding guru Oscar. I have started the wedding guru Oscar back in December, 1st of December 2019, and it's a very fresh company. However, I have been involved in weddings for over a decade. Um, Very interesting time to start a business, wedding planning business, just before COVID. But I have had the pleasure of working with some of the most amazing wedding venues and hotels and hospitality businesses throughout Scotland for the past 10 years. I've worked with 4-star and 5-star luxury venues throughout the country, and I have been doing this for the past 10 years. My experience very much starts with operational roles. I started acting as master of ceremonies and actually getting my hands dirty and getting involved in the weddings, looking after the weddings from the moment of arrival on your wedding morning through to the time you went to bed and tucking the couples in bed, just a quick joke. But actually looking after the couples the whole day, so I was operationally involved with wedding couples. Therefore, I understand all logistics involved with that as well. So that was about 4.5 years of my career right at the start. And then I moved to effectively wedding planning and guiding couples from the moment of inquiry through the entire wedding planning journey, menu tastings, final details appointments, consultations, on the day coordination, and debrief after the weddings as well. Most recently, I have actually worked with a portfolio, a cluster of 3 city centre venues in Edinburgh, luxury city centre venues in Edinburgh, looking after over 100 weddings across these 3 properties as well. So I've got wealth of experience. I've planned over 600 weddings in my career, and I'm super excited to be helping couples individually and independently as well. Over the years, I have been very fortunate to have been honoured with committing myself and contributing to publications with Love My Dress, which is the biggest wedding blog in the world, and also the biggest Jewish wedding blog, Smashing the Glass. I have over the years also contributed to publications with Scottish Wedding Magazine and Tidy Knot Scotland as well as the Luxury Scottish Wedding and My Scotland Wedding as well. Over the past 4 years, I have been very fortunate also to have been nominated by my lovely couples for awards with the Scottish Vows Awards and the Scottish Hotel Awards as well, and 4 of them over the past 4 years as well. That's enough about myself. I don't want to bore you with too much information about myself because we've got a guest speaker, and that's obviously what's really bringing you to this interview today. So I'm going to hand you over to Euan. Euan, are you with us?
Hey, how are you?
I'm very well. How are you?
I want to check something. If anyone's watching, if you can write in the comments how the sound is, because it
Okay.
was quite. I don't know when you went live, Oscar. It just kind of went a bit glitchy for some reason. So it might be a case of pulling out your little mic and plugging it back in, and see
Okay.
see if that makes a difference. But hey, someone can write in the comments if it's any better than I'm speaking, that would be wonderful, just so we can see how it's sounding, because it was a wee bit glitchy. I was seeing some of the comments that you guys are putting in. But anyway, how is everybody? How is everybody at home? Oscar, how are you?
I am doing very well. Thank you
That
very much.
sounds so
I'm
much
super
better.
excited. Is
There we
that
go.
better?
That's so much better. He's back in the game. He's
Oh,
back in
yeah.
the game.
I've unplugged my headphones and plugged them back in. Oh,
There we go.
brilliant. Thank you very much for letting me know.
So I didn't know how to let you know while you were doing your bit. I was like, yeah, anyway, but you're here. You're here, and that's the main
Brilliant.
thing.
Fantastic.
So who?
Exciting.
What's the process? What have I got to do?
So,
I'm just gonna
we've
take
got
over.
6 exciting questions for you, Ewan. You've had a little bit of time to get yourself organised, which is exciting because we've got so much to talk about, and I know how much experience and the feedback you're getting from wedding couples as well is absolutely incredible. So, my number one question for you, Ewan, is for you to tell us a little bit about yourself, please.
Where do I start? So listen, hey guys, how you doing? My name is Euan Lawrence. I run a company called Tartan Entertainment Group. Now, what we do is we are a more unique DJ service that involves live musicians in Scotland. It's our USP, it's our niche. We are a far more, should we say, daring, younger, what's a difficult word to use?
Cool.
exciting DJ company. So what we do is we primarily focus on the wedding and the corporate entertainment market, and we work with the number of likes of saxophonists, bongo players, and recently we've just included an electric violin. So it's allowing the original songs to be played, but with the addition of these live musicians who just bring an element of wowness to any event and factor. Because obviously, we as DJs, we can do a great job, but these guys come in and they just take that vibe of the room and just take it to the new level. So that's what we do at Tartan Entertainment Group. So I, alongside Trav Saxing, we kind of joined forces back in 2018. He doing his thing with the sax players and me doing my thing with the DJs. We kind of just said, how do we combine this together and make it work? So I then kind of left the whole nightclub scene where I was a DJ for many, many years, and I formed straight into the sort of wedding and corporate market, and I took it like a duck to water, and I love it. I love my job. So yeah, so that is me. I'm you, and I run that. So yeah, I don't. Oh God, it's really hard to say nice things about yourself. You know what I mean? It is. It's hard without being like, oh hey, like yeah. So that's it. So that's why I do. I head up that. I'm in the last 2 years, business has just went from one level to another. Obviously, it's on hold now, but
Yeah.
the fast rate we were going, it is unbelievable, and I love what we've done and the team that we've built behind what we do.
Absolutely. I just see you guys obviously doing a lot of events with some major wedding venues and corporates as well. And I
It's
see
been
the relationships you've got with them as well.
Well, that's it. The journey in the last 2 years, Oscar, has been wonderful because to come onto a scene where nobody knows your name
Yeah.
and then to establish yourself in such a short period of time has been not only an amazing challenge, but to see the results from that is so rewarding. You know, we've developed so many relationships with amazing, wonderful wedding coordinators across Scotland who might have not necessarily thought, they wanted to change up their entertainment, but when they see what we do, the production we provide, the fact that we're just a little bit different, a little bit more in keeping with their brand potentially,
Yes.
and that's how these development relationships have taken place. Because of that, and because of the service we provide, which is the number one key thing, the fact that we throw an amazing party to any sort of clientele of any age, of any sort of, groups of people that are wanting different style of music, we can go in there and provide the service to what the client's needing and come out of it knowing that we've done the best job that we can and know that they're happy, just allowed us to just get the word of mouth going between venues that we are now hitting majority of the 5-star and 4-star venues across Scotland, and allowed us to really establish ourselves in a wedding market where before we started it wasn't really a thing in terms of the DJ and the live musician sort of thing.
Amazing. Do you know, it's one thing that you guys will actually be able to see in the feedback we've got up on the screen just now. Throughout feedback, you can see that your group, obviously yourself and the guys, are quite responsive with the vibe of the group, and everyone that attends it. You can quite nicely flow the music that actually fits in everyone as well. And obviously, there's so much you can do. I think where you've nailed the market is obviously doing something very unique and something very different that nobody else was doing before, and that's why it's resonating with particularly wedding couples. It's a luxury market. It's about creating the experience, it's about creating that wow element, and you're definitely spot on with that. And it's not just traditional wedding DJ. You're so much more, and with the guys that work with you, you just created something very, very special. And I am excited, obviously, working with you on weddings next year. But there's so much more to come as well. So that's very exciting.
I
All
appreciate
right.
that. I'm sure the guys will too.
Absolutely. I'm just going to check for any comments, any questions, guys. Like I said to you at the start of the video, the more questions we've got from you, the more interactive and the more relevant we can make it. So fire the question across in the comment box below, and we will be covering them throughout the interview as well. We've
Just
got the more kind of
on the screen. You put up one of the reviews about how the husband and both were musicians. Now that review is really special to us because obviously, as a DJ playing for other musicians, you know, their
Of it on
wide
the screen.
variety of music
Yeah.
is such a crazy, it's so hard to be able to nail it. But with the two of that, with that couple in particular, to be
Yes.
able to mix Kaylee music
Yeah.
into Afro beats, into 90s pop and R&B, like it's just a challenge, but it's not every DJ would be willing to take. But
No.
you know, we've
It
been a
makes
man.
a difference. And coming from somebody with music background to get that praise is just incredible.
I was nervous about the gig, but I
Yeah.
was so happy, and it just shows that we're doing it right. And we can
Absolutely.
take any genre and really make it work. And I think that's the exciting thing about it is there's no limits to what we're doing. Don't
Yeah.
get me wrong, heavy metal in my bag.
Well,
If a couple is looking for heavy metal, I'm not the DJ for them. I
yeah.
will obviously state, that you should look at this direction or this person. But most genres I'm quite comfortable with,
Yeah.
and most of the guys I work with are also comfortable with it because we've learned to adapt. We've rehearsed. We don't just turn up and just hope for the best. We're structuring our sets and we're making it work. Especially in the case of that wedding, I really had to think outside the boxes to make sure
Yeah.
the full room of musicians was going to be on the dance floor. Because with a musician, you've got that little bit extra hard work to impress them because they're looking for that extra little bit of, you
There's a
know,
different expectation.
there's a bit of seasoning that you would get. They're
Yeah.
looking for it. So yeah, I was really happy with that lovely review that Claire gave us.
Travis just said, how do you manage to cope with your musicians stealing your show?
It's his show. It's his show at the end of the day. And he knows it. He's a wonderful, wonderful character to play with. And I think that shows in the energy and the relationship that we've got within the team. That
Yeah.
if it shows to the client on the dance floor that we're right in and involved,
Yeah.
then we're never essentially he's never I'm the listen. He's stumped me there, right? How do you
That's all right. No worries at all.
It's always the sack. So the musicians steal the show, but I want them to because they're unreal and they
Yeah.
deserve the praise that they get because what they've managed to learn and do in this industry and to adapt to playing everything.
Yeah.
Trav can play Kaylee music if he needed to.
Oh my God, that's amazing.
Sax and Kaylee, you would never ever think it would work, but we've done it a couple of times and it's really, really good. So yeah,
That's
all praise,
incredible.
all praise to Brittany there.
I think you're absolutely right, and it is unique. It's something that with portfolio of guys that you work with, and again, it is very unique. It's very different, and it's I think it's just so current. Everyone is looking for something a bit more wow.
That's
So
it.
you're brilliant with that one. Guys, just quickly to recap, we are going live in my Facebook page, The Wedding Guru Oscar, and also in my group, the Interactive Facebook Lives with The Wedding Guru Oscar. We're live right now, so we highly encourage comments and questions from you in the little box below. As you comment in, say hello, introduce yourself, tell us where you're coming from as well. We will be going after each one of the official questions with your questions as well. And like I said before, the more questions we can get from you, the more interactive this will become, and obviously the more relevant information we can make. We will go into the nitty-gritty things very shortly. I just wanted to introduce Euan officially to you guys as well, but he's got some fantastic advice and fantastic tips coming up for you as well. So stay tuned and don't leave us now. There's a lot more exciting stuff coming up as well. Right, Euan, I think it's time for us to move on to question number 2.
Do it.
Could you tell us about your career background, please?
So it all started at the ripe age of 18 when I first set foot in a nightclub and I thought, this is amazing. When I was on George Street in Edinburgh, just like straight out of university, straight into university, sorry, I've been like, my God, like I'm out partying and it was one of those things. And I really got involved in that industry where, I was involved in promotion, I was involved in online digital marketing. And eventually then I kind of stumbled onto the DJing part of it where I kind of worked with so many other DJs and they kind of brought me in and allowed me to kind of like learn the industry and learn the trade a little bit. And then once you have a bit of knowledge, you can then go away and do what you're going to do. So I then became a nightclub DJ. I toured, listen to me. I played all over Scotland, right? I played all over Scotland. And I was quite a commercial, mix and mash up DJ. That was kind of my thing. So anything commercial, I was a safe bet, and that's what I done. And I played to a lot of student nights. Student nights is kind of my thing. That
Yeah.
whole great vibe. You've been to student night, you've been a university student. That thing of being like sing along, just loving
Yeah.
like that was me, and I just got a feel for it. So I did that for a long period of time, and then I was slowly introduced to the life event sort of market where you had a lot of corporate events and birthdays. That was kind of a whole new scene. Then someone asked me if I could do a wedding. From then, the weddings became what it is now. So I then did a couple of weddings, and I studied under a few different other industry people who taught me that trade, because I didn't realize it was such a big difference. From first dances to last dances to official dances to announcements to just how you structure your evening. There was so
Yeah.
much, and I just was completely clueless, and just was like, yeah, I'm just gonna DJ. But no, you actually have to think about it. You have to
Yeah.
give it a little bit more TLC. So that was it. I got involved in the wedding industry, and again in 2018, myself, Trav Saxing, joined forces and said, how do we make this a cool thing?
Yeah.
2 years later, we're not doing any weddings, but we've developed a great brand. That's all that matters.
Definitely. There's a lot of kind of testimonials you can see, and you can see that it's all about visibility now, and it is tough time, but you are very present, and I've actually got feedback here from Harriet saying very talented, hope to be able to work with the team Tartan again soon. It's just a testament to obviously you guys, so it speaks volume as well. We've got Trav again asking another question, so brilliant. Thank you very much for getting involved, Trav.
Hi, Harry. I know you're watching.
If your A team is unavailable, how can you guarantee the same vibe?
Because we've trained. Oh, my microphone's going. Because the team that we've got, we've trained. This is the thing. Trav's wanting to reinforce these questions. I'm glad he's asking them, because we do get these questions like, if I'm not available or Trav's not available, what happens next? Well,
Yeah.
we've got a strong team of DJs that have been handpicked by us and trained by us. The same with the sax players. We've worked with Shades of Sax, who's in the photo just now on screen. He was our second sax player, and now we've expanded to add another sax player, because a guy called Gavin. So Gav on sax. So if myself and Trav aren't available, or I am available and Trav isn't, and we just swap in and out, we've got a core group of 6 or 7 people that know the same stuff, that have the same passion and the same energy, that have been trained by us to make this work. We've taken time to invest in all the artists that work within the group to make these weddings amazing, because just because I can do it doesn't mean that Johnny, Paddy, Stevie, all the other DJs that we work with can go in and do an amazing wedding, because they can and they're wonderful. But we all talk together, we all share ideas, and we all just come up with new things. So yeah.
You can tell because every gig I see you guys working together, you can tell that you work together very closely and you understand the way you work in and what's kind of expected of you as well. Because no matter if it was Trav or the other guys, I see the consistency and it's just very vibrant and energetic as well. So that
we're, we're,
again,
we're friends first before business.
yeah,
So that's a main thing as well. Like, we have a friendship out with of the group.
yeah, brilliant, fantastic. Another question from Trav. Trav, you're absolutely spot on, brilliant, well done. Keep on throwing those questions, guys. If you've got any more questions, pop them in the comments below. Like I said to you before, and the more questions we get, the more answers, relevant answers we can give you. Trav is asking destination weddings in Scotland too.
So I guess what he's saying about that is, are we doing destination weddings? Yes. Next year we've got weddings in London, got weddings in Italy, we have weddings in Spain. So this has grown out within Scotland,
Yeah,
which is essentially an amazing thing for us, because we never thought that this, little thing that we had got going on would reach the
yeah,
further wide. But we're now having couples from other countries contact us, being like, we've seen what you do, we've seen your content. Are you interested in coming out or flying out to our wedding? So yes, I
that's
was meant to be
amazing.
next week for a wedding, but unfortunately that's been moved to next year. But it's exciting, and the thing is, we like to work with more couples coming in to into Scotland. I have connections with the USA and Canada, so
Yeah.
I work with people even in the industry over there as well. We talk. So I see an American couple coming over to Scotland to have that, that Scottish amazing palace Princess Dream,
Yeah, yeah.
a DJ that understands that market.
Uh-huh.
I would like to assume that I'd be right up there to be able to cover that because I know the kind of music that they'd be looking for. Not only
Yeah.
because I love the music they love, but also I've studied the market and I've worked with DJs in those countries to get an understanding of what they do over there to make
Yeah.
sure we're replicating the same thing here when the couples come over.
Amazing. Fantastic. Lovely. Thank you very much, guys, for all the questions so far. Chav is on the ball. Well done, mate. Thank you very much for popping the questions. I'm just checking if there's anything else popped up just now. No, I think we're all good. So I think it's time for us to move on to your question number 3. And
Hey,
Euan, could you tell us what your average day looks like?
at the moment, it's very, very, very chill. But then saying that, we were just discussing before we came on live, we're finding things to do to
Yeah,
pass the time. Like this
definitely.
morning, I was up visiting a new wedding venue where we're going to be in partnership with very shortly up in Perth near Dunkeld. And you come back, you then take a couple of calls. At the moment, it's a lot of emails talking with brides to postpone, or if there's discussion potential new bookings for next year. We have to call all of our brides as well. I've been on 2 potential calls this morning that will hopefully transfer into weddings. So at the moment, that's been quite full on. But with an average day when it's normally gigging, I will get up in the morning. I will then look at my where I'm meant to be, what time I'm meant to be there, and then I'll sort of plan my day around that. Every day has to include lunch. Lunch is a big thing. You got to have your lunch, and then it's obviously down to the gig. So we try and arrive to the gig way earlier because things can happen with traffic or whatever, and there's nothing worse than being late for someone's
Mhm.
wedding. So touch wood. I don't have any wood, but there we go. It's not happened yet, but yeah, that's kind of the average day. But at
Yeah.
the moment, is specifically just dealing with inquiry. We've had a lot of inquiries in the last 2 weeks.
Hmm.
It
Hmm.
comes in waves.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah,
a couple of weeks ago, nothing. I was like, oh, fair enough. Like, there must be, died a death, and then suddenly it's inquiry, 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 inquiry. So when we put up a good bit of content, we get a lot of interest as well. So, but
definitely.
recently it's been a lot of inquiries, and then obviously speaking with brides about postponements and stuff. So,
I can
yeah.
imagine. I think you're absolutely right. It's something that I'm observing as well. There's a lot more inquiries, and I think with the market changing a little bit as well, we're talking obviously about the lockdown relaxing a little bit more. There's obviously knockbacks here and there, but I think we're heading in the right direction, especially in Scotland. So yeah, I've seen that kind of excitement coming back into the weddings, and a lot more couples starting to plan. If they postpone the weddings, they're starting to plan for their next year or end of the year. But there's more couples feeling that confidence now that it's the time to start thinking about, well, if we still want to get married next year, we need to get things organized. If we want to get married in 2022, definitely need to do something now. I can imagine like you will be booked up 2, 3 years in advance as well.
Oh,
So
we,
it's
we just
important to
got
get.
an inquiry, yeah, the other day for 2024.
That's
Yeah,
crazy.
and we've got quite a few for 23 already, but 24 was our first one, and we were like, wow, like this is
Yeah.
people are planning because they
It
obviously need
makes
to.
sense under the circumstances as well.
It's also trying to find things that are booked. Like next year, the availability is very slim. So,
Yeah,
as 2022 pushes in as well,
yeah,
um, it's starting to fill up. But now 2023 is getting in question. But it was a brand new first for 2024. We were all pretty excited when that inquiry came in because we're like, is this what's happening? Is this what people are
yeah,
doing? So, but a lot of the venues that we worked with are just chock a block for the next
yeah,
years. So people
yeah.
are planning ahead. You know.
Definitely, definitely. I think the couples that I'm working with at the minute, that's one of the feedback that I'm getting is, it's great and nice to have an idea of dates and stuff like that. But where couples are struggling now is they're approaching so many different suppliers here and there, and the feedback they're getting is there's so many people booked up now, so they're that's why they're maybe reaching to people like myself, or that's why they're maybe looking a little bit further away as well, because there is that kind of attention in 2021 and 2022 in terms of availability. So it makes sense. 2024, didn't think that you would get inquiry already, but it makes sense with everything else that's going on at the minute as well.
Yeah.
We've got a question from Chav, brilliant question. I'm just going to pop it up on the screen. How do you plan to adapt to any social distancing restrictions that may apply moving forward?
I guess it's just a question of, we got to find out, what is required of us. At the moment, obviously, we can't entertain at weddings, but I've already adapted my DJ booth. My DJ booth now has a big perspex screen around it. Courtesy of my friend Stuart at CMYK Creative. There's a wee plug if anyone's needing any perspex stuff. We've already adapted the booths for that. So we've got two booths and they both have screens around it. Obviously, things like requests. We'll be encouraging people to, use a text line for a request now rather than actually coming up closer to us. So
Brilliant.
working on getting that branded up as well. If we need a request, text his personalized number. Because obviously we want to limit ourselves as much contact as possible. It feels weird. Like I've had the booth up and everything. Feels like you're DJing in a glass box, but from the other side of a wall, it's very strange. But if it has to be the new norm, then we're going to adapt it because obviously the clients expect the clients obviously are not hoping for this, but we have to be able to adapt to make sure we are able to suit into the client's needs, as also the venue needs, and also the government, requirements as well. It's a big thing. So we're planning that in terms of the sax players a lot as well. A lot of the guys they go into the crowds, we're going to have to avoid doing that. We're going to have to have the sax players in their own dedicated area, and it would just be either they're on a raised platform playing rather than involved actually in the crowd. Because I think you've probably seen a lot by our promo videos. We're very much involved, so we'll need to find a way of adapting that involvement, but still putting on the show that the clients expect.
Absolutely, that's amazing. That sounds brilliant. And at the same time, it's a shame because I know how much of a vibe and atmosphere that was creating having your guys out on the floor. But it totally makes sense, unless you put them into
clients, yeah.
into some sort of suit or something.
Protect our team, and that's a big thing as well as sanitizing. Like all of our equipment will need to be sanitized after every use because there's a roadie involved as well. So. All the equipment needs to be washed down, and never in my life did I think I'd be washing a DJ booth, but if it has to be done, it's got to be done. So
no, absolutely,
yeah.
I think my feeling about COVID and what's going on at the minute, I think where we're going to come out at the other end of this is that there's going to be growth in health and safety regulations relating to that again. And it might relax after a while, but I think it's obviously about taking all the precautions, and you clearly are putting things into place already. So that's brilliant to see as well. We've got another question from Chav. Chav, again, thank you very much. Would you come and perform at a private garden party too?
This is a shameless promo, but yes, we are doing socially distanced garden parties. We have only just recently started them, and then the inquiries have been through the roof for doing them. So we will turn up to an event, whether it's a garden or a field or the front of a house, wherever it kind of works. So someone has an open space area. As long as we can have up 2 meters or more distance away from the people, and then access to power that they've provided, so we're not stepping foot in the house. We are going to be doing garden parties now. So if you are interested in garden parties, please do contact Trav Saxon.
Perfect, fantastic. That's brilliant.
Shameless plug.
We'll pop the contact details right at the end of the presentation, guys, as well. So bear with us. We'll go through everything as well. Any other questions, guys? Like I said, if you've got any questions, pop them in the comments below. If you're joining us on repeat, make sure you comment #repeat in the comment box below, and Euan and I will be able to come back to any questions at the end of the presentation or after the live stream is finished. I think it's time for our next question, Euan. So I'm just going to flick over. Question number 4. What's the most rewarding part of your job?
Giving people the day that they expect. I say this to a lot of DJs that are currently in the nightclub industry, that they get rewards out of the crowd interaction. But having that, we get that too in the industry, but having that little bit extra where you've made the couple's evening just unbelievable. You can't put money on it. It's wonderful just getting the vibe and just having a couple say to you, that was amazing, and have everyone in the room being like, that was one of the best weddings I've been to. And I think that's what we try and create with every single wedding that we do, is we want to provide them and with the group of people that are there the best night that they've had in a long time, and the couple the best night of their lives. Well, maybe one of their best nights of their lives, but yeah, we, I mean, like it's one of those ones, and that and getting the rewarding aspect out of that is just, you know, when you've made a couple really, really happy about providing them the best service you could possibly get, and knowing that I've done it and knowing that I've enjoyed it is another big thing. So yeah, that's the most rewarding part. So
I
yeah,
think our jobs particularly are very rewarding. I
they are.
think being able to play this very important part in a couple's life and the most important event of their life, and knowing that you've done an amazing job and it's made a difference and it's built the atmosphere and everything else that's happening in that day and that evening, makes hell of a lot of a difference, and I suppose it makes it worthwhile and very much rewarding itself as well. Knowing that fact, I've actually got a very fun feedback from a couple from Tessa up on the screen. She says, apart from marrying my husband, this was hands down the absolute highlight of our wedding. I mean, that just summarizes obviously what you were talking about. It makes a difference, and it clearly does make a difference, and couples absolutely love
That wedding was insane. Like
it.
that review is wonderful as well.
Yeah.
Obviously she had to marry her husband, but
Just the
and
one thing.
and I'll tell you what, that night was not without its problems. It was there was a gentleman, he fell on the dance floor that evening.
Oh
I'll never,
no.
and he broke his knee on the
Oh
dance floor from
jeez.
jumping too much. So yeah, it was insane. But the party still, the Harriet remembers. It was insane. That wedding was insane, and the promo video that came out of that wedding is one of my favorites, and it showcases the George Hotel in an amazing light.
Yeah.
Christmas time is one of the best times to be in and around Edinburgh. We had the big production out from Glasgow Event Hire, and the whole thing just looked fabulous from the get go. So no, it was
Amazing.
one that hands down one of my favorite weddings from last year. It was, I mean, right at the end of the year as well. Who would have known? Just before Chris, it was just in between Christmas and New Year. One of the best weddings we done
Incredible.
last year. So yeah,
Amazing. Harriet, thank you very much. Lovely to see you as well. Just wanted to say hello to you. Thank you very much for getting involved and posting as well. If you've got any questions that you would like from your perspective, I know obviously you're a wedding manager at a venue in Edinburgh. If you'd want to pop any questions on the screen that you think couples could benefit from as well, and fire them across. We would love to obviously answer as many questions as possible. We've got another
don't
question from chat.
tell
The Ibiza vibe is so popular right now. Do you offer a more chilled pool party type vibe during the
Yeah,
daytime too?
yeah, we do. Yeah, during the drinks reception as well. A lot of people do look at us for bringing the party at, like, during the day. It's a big, sorry, during the night. Sorry, they look at us being like, "You guys are going to rock the party," but also during the day. Saxophone players can be more chilled. We do kind of offer a more contemporary vibe. A more chilled out pool party vibe for your drinks reception, because obviously it can get a little bit lively if it goes that way.
Yeah.
But generally, drinks receptions are more chilled. People are having drinks, just having a good time, and they're just enjoying the entertainment. So we do that, and it's something that I don't think we shout about enough. But it's something we have done quite a few of, and it's exciting and it's fun
Good.
because that's what I mean about being versatile. All of our team are versatile, including myself. So having to learn how to play different musics and look at a different crowd, because that crowd are later on are
Yeah.
going to be so lively, but during the day they're trying to be a little bit more civil.
Well,
Trying,
trying.
trying is sometimes it gets out of hand, but we love it when it does.
Definitely. I think it makes a party as well. Perfect,
Yeah.
guys. I think we've covered all the questions this far, so we're just going to get across to the next question. If you do have any questions or any comments or any feedback, pop them in the comment box below. We will cover everything in this live, and there will be an official Q&A right at the end as well. We've got somebody else saying hello. Facebook user, if you head up to the little description
Ah,
at the
let's have a
top of
look.
the video and
Let's,
click the link to permit your name, we will be able to see your name, or otherwise you can just comment with your name in the comment. We will be able to see it. It's because we're using a software streaming software called StreamYards today, and we can only see the names when you've given permission to StreamYards to show it on the screen. Perfect, guys. I'm going to head over to the next question for
Jimmy
Ewan.
Anderson is DJ Edinburgh.
DJ
Oscar.
Edinburgh, Jim. Perfect. Hi, Jim. Good to see
Hey,
you.
Jim, how you doing?
Brilliant. Fantastic. Right, we're going to move on to question number 5. So, our question for you, Ewan, is what do you recommend couples should discuss with you or ask you about in the first meeting?
Well, we have a pre-phone call before everyone books. I think it's important that I speak to, or whoever the DJ is, speaks to the bride or groom, regarding the event before they book with us,
Yeah.
because I want to find out we're the right fit for them. Because, like I said earlier on, I have had a couple say, "Oh, I'm looking for this style of music," but that's not what I feel comfortable with. It's not essentially what the team really feel comfortable with. So we have passed on a certain amount of weddings. It is inevitable. You will find somewhere where someone said, "Oh, I'm looking for Kaylee majority of the evening." That's not what we're about.
Yeah.
So one of the first things we do is actually discuss what they're looking for to
Uh-huh.
make sure we're the right fit for them and they're the right fit for us. So we discuss music policy. We discuss the vibe that they're looking to create in a night, genres. Say, for example, um, a lot of couples sometimes come to us and say, "Oh, I see the really upbeat dancey stuff, but do you play 60s, Motown, 70s?" I'm like, "Yes, we do." It's maybe not so known, but because
Uh-huh.
we obviously advertise the whole party sax like stuff, but I do cover a majority of genres. The Kaylee stuff will do. I'm quite comfortable doing a little bit of Kaylee, but I'm not comfortable playing 3 to 4 hours of it.
Yeah.
That's a Kaylee band, but I have had that request before. So you have to kind of have these questions as to what are the couple looking for. Even in a corporate event, what is the client looking for? I've had clients say, "Listen, I'm looking for a DJ who can just play music and not talk." You have to have these conversations to say, right, where do we slot into them, or can any of our teams slot into them?
Yeah.
Purely, we've got to be versatile enough and understandable enough of each client's decisions and also desires to make the event work. So for recommendation, we say, hey, what are you looking for? What are you looking in terms of music? And then we look at sort of things like timings as well,
Yeah.
whether they're looking for, from the start, like drinks reception, as Trav just kindly said, or are they looking for some in-house meal entertainment? I don't know if you've seen that we've done that. We've raised a party during the meal in between certain courses, or are they
Uh-huh.
looking purely for that evening from 7 o'clock through to 12 o'clock of just amazing music, feel good vibes with
Brilliant.
the idea the live musicians thrown in. So that's where we kind of say is, listen, talk to us about what you're looking for and how we can make it work for you. Because an inquiry through an email is one thing, and obviously you can get budgets and prices and stuff. But it's when it comes down to nitty gritty, what do you and your partner like, or what does the client desire for that event? And
Yeah.
understanding the genres and the age groups as well, and the numbers. Numbers are the key thing for us.
Yeah.
We've had to play weddings to 30 people or 15 people, or I've done a wedding and Trav done a wedding with 1,000 people. So
Nice.
it's crazy, but you have to understand, you know, the numbers as well, because then it gets a little bit more personal.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's another thing.
Definitely. It's interesting what you've said about kind of length of the entertainment as well, because I think there is massive differences between maybe different cultural weddings as well. And we had a culture infused wedding 2 years ago when we got married. I've done weddings for Jewish weddings, I've done Hindu weddings and stuff like that. There's different aspects and maybe different protocol to their days as well. So it's important, obviously, to potentially discuss it and make sure that you can fit in and you can work around it, and that all ties in quite nice because the timings are so important as well, and making sure that everyone is accommodated for and catered for as well.
It's one of the things for us. Obviously, we're very music led, so I
Yeah,
require like a lot of the couples to provide us with a playlist of some sort
yeah,
that includes songs that they would choose, and also a couple of we look for a list of must play songs that we will play them no matter what throughout the night. A general playlist of songs that they like, or maybe requests from certain members who are going to the wedding, and then you've also got to look at songs they don't want.
yeah, of
So,
course.
some massive dance floor hits that we may love might not be suitable for that wedding. Much
Yeah,
like the one we just discussed at the George Hotel. She had a couple of songs and a couple of artists she did not want played, but you would generally play them at a wedding. So obviously we need to adapt to make sure we've covered the ground for that couple to cover all grounds that they're happy. So songs that we want must plays, do not plays, and in general just songs that the couple would love or the client.
Amazing. We've got Lynn from Myanmar just dropping by and
Hey,
saying hello before bed. Hello, Lynn. We're
hey,
super
Lynn, how are
excited
you?
to be looking after your wedding next May at the Dundas Castle. Super
Very much
fantastic for
looking
you
forward
to
to that.
hop in and said hello. Thank you very much. If you've got questions, pop them in the comment box as well before you head to bed. But lovely to see you. Thank you for
If
joining.
we miss you, Lynn, good night, and we'll speak to you
Good
soon.
night, indeed.
I'll tell you what, that's one wedding I'm very much looking forward to
Yes.
next year with
Yes.
all the secret surprises and stuff that she's got planned. So we won't give it away in case any of our guests are watching, but it is going to be one hell of a wedding. And I know that obviously Jim Henderson's involved as well throughout the course of the wedding weekend. So it's going to be a very, very fun and upbeat and amazing wedding. And I know that
Can't
Mike
wait.
are looking forward to just coming in there and throwing them the best wedding reception party that she could possibly imagine. So yeah,
Absolutely. There was one thing that I just actually remembered you've mentioned, obviously, with playlists or requests and stuff like that you request from couples in advance of their wedding. One of the things that I've seen through my career couples doing is actually in the invitations when guests are responding with their meal choices and stuff like that. One of the questions is actually asking for
a song.
references on music or
Yeah.
songs and stuff like that. And they can then fire it across to Euan, and he can make sure that the playlist that is created actually covers all the genre and everyone in that party. I think this is absolutely a brilliant idea.
It is a brilliant idea, but I also want the guests that do that to take their time and actually think about it. My cousin did it, and obviously me being obscure, I was really obscure just to kind of throw the gentleman off. But my mum just was like, "Oh, I don't know what to put," and just put a general wedding song down, and I was like, that was. Oh, she put Uptown Funk, and I was like, obviously that's going to get played. Come on, think about one of your favorite songs, mother. But no, she just panicked and just
Be
went with that.
careful stuff.
And I knew she didn't even really like Uptown Funk, but it wasn't on the top 10. But for her, she just panicked and put that down. And I find that quite funny. It's like if you do get a form asking for songs, take some time to actually think, right, what song do I want and how much is it gonna, affect the dance floor? Like
Yeah.
even though my song choice was a little bit obscure, I knew that the dance floor was going to be full because of it. So yeah,
Brilliant. Lynn just says, haha, all questions are answered.
my
Brilliant, Lynn. Thank you very much. That's fantastic. We like to obviously make sure that we can cover as many things as possible in these Facebook Lives. And that's why it's great for you for you guys to be involved. And thank you again for all the questions this far. There's no more questions just now. So I think we're going to move on to our final question number
we
6.
we
And
made.
that question is, sorry, did you want to say something, Ewan?
I just said we made it to the final question.
Yay! Well, it's a very, very short question. Your biggest one piece of advice, and whether that's to do with wedding planning, with entertainment, with anything that you would want to kind of pass on to wedding planning couples that they need to think about from your perspective, what would it be?
Research your suppliers. Really do research your suppliers. Look into them, discover their content, look at their reviews, look into weddings that they've done. Understand if a supplier hasn't got the content there, ask for some. Sometimes they might be a little bit less shy on social media, but you think, okay, well, I've heard some many good recommendations for them, but you want to just be 100% sure. Ask around as well. Don't be scared to ask about many suppliers life advice. You want some life advice, Harriet? Who knows what's going to happen anymore? We're just going to be part. But yeah, so in regards to wedding, do that. Just really take time to research your suppliers and understand. Like we obviously have a lot of content on our stuff, and our reviews are amazing, and that really does help because a lot of people say, "Listen, I've heard good things, and I've read good things, and I've seen good things." So those three things, those three boxes, sorry, get checked, and then we get a lot of couples say, "Okay, cool." Understand budgets as well. Every entertainment company is different, and they'll have different budget for different things. And in terms of some life advice, don't worry, be happy. That's it. Don't
That is
worry, be
brilliant.
happy. Just enjoy yourself. You're here for a really good time. One time, so make it a good time.
Again, I've got a really nice feedback app on the screen just now. It's something that you've already mentioned, but kind of kind of strengthens the statement as well, is that you've worked with multicultural weddings and you've blended the music so well that it catered to all the guests' requirements and preferences as well. It just, again, a testament
Well,
to what
that's
you
it.
guys do.
I really took some time with that couple to really understand what they were looking for, and they had guests coming over from all over the world, so they
Yeah.
wanted a little bit of flavors from all over the world to come into that evening. So we were able to do, something. At times, we have had guests that are like looking for a little bit more of the background music, where we'll reach out to the likes of VIP Entertainment to join us on the evening.
Yeah.
That's something we do. We don't just discourage those clients. We'll work with them. So it's understanding what the client wants and just going the extra round to say, well, listen, we can't supply it because X, Y, and Z, or if we can't supply it, we can suggest X, Y, and Z. So just to
Brilliant.
make, we want to make that dream possible because everybody wants to take part. Much like with Lynn's wedding, for example, she's wanting specific aspects of what we do, but then she's wanting to add her own little twist on top, and we have to make that whole thing a reality to make it work on the night seamlessly, seamlessly, and just enjoyable from the get go, from the first song all the way through. So that's exactly what we're trying to do. Is create relationships, and so my advice is create relationships with your suppliers. Make sure you research them. Speak to your wedding coordinators. Talk to the venue about what they suggest. For the likes of the Harriet or the George, she is going to suggest some amazing entertainers and some amazing humanists and all sorts. She'll know who she trusts in the industry, so she'll
Yeah.
pass those names over. But then when you're given those names, please do take the extra time to then actually go and do some research into them and make sure again they are the right fit for you. I say this whole right fit for you thing because it goes back to Gokwan and the whole wedding dress and all that kind of same. It's the same lingo
Yeah.
across the industry. Make sure everything's the right fit and just enjoy it. So yeah, I'm getting a bit excited. Knock my mic over.
Brilliant, fantastic, guys. That's the end of the official part of the
There we go.
conversation or the questions.
Woo!
We're now over to the Q&As. But as you're typing your questions into the comment box below, if you are watching us on repeat, comment #repeat in the comment box below. We will be able to come back to you with any questions and responses afterwards as well. This is the time for you now to ask your questions, any nitty-gritty things that we might have not covered so far. Pop them in the comment box below and we will cover them as well. As you're having that little time to pop these questions in the comment box below, I've got your promo video, Euan,
Oh,
up on the
brilliant.
screen,
I
and
love
I
it.
want
Actually,
to
that's a
play
nice
it.
surprise.
Yep.
Just
So
me,
I'm
there's
just
a
gonna,
mug there. That's that night in the George. There you go.
yeah, that's it.
Oh, brilliant. This is fantastic.
So I'm just going to play it out for you guys just now, giving you a little bit more time to get your questions together. So let's get seeing this.
There we go. 15 seconds of pure heaven. Right.
Amazing, fantastic, guys. Any
And
questions at
again,
all?
that advert just shows so many weddings crammed into 15 seconds that we've absolutely smashed over the last 2 years. So yeah.
And it just, again, it shows in that vibrance, that uniqueness of what you guys do. So it's great to see as
Go on,
well.
Oscar. Give it another play. 14 seconds. Give it one more play and make sure it plays properly. There we go. Damn.
Amazing.
Watching that brings back so many nice memories, but it also reminds me of why we do it. Like, just I've not watched that in a long time, and yeah, we made that at the start of the year. I think I've watched that like since we put it up. Um, that's really nice. It reminds me of like what we do and why we're doing it, and I really can't wait to get back to doing it. I think that's the key thing I want to suggest is I can't wait to get back to weddings, whenever whether that is this year or whether it is next year. I'm not going to say 2022 because that's just jinxing everything. But whether it's this year or next year, I just generally can't wait. And I know the guys are eager to get back. Do the garden parties and stuff are fun, but what weddings are what we do, and we do them really well. And I'm genuinely excited for the first one of the whatever season is left of this
Yeah.
season. So yeah.
I'm sorry, I just got a comment here from Lynn saying that the sound didn't play. I'm not 100% sure how to do that.
Lynn, I will ping you the advert. You can go on the
Yes,
YouTube channel, just type in Tartan Entertainment Group on YouTube, and you'll see all the promos, especially the live streams. I don't know if you've
yeah,
seen the live streams, Oscar, but
yeah.
we filmed live streams across numerous wedding venues that we work across Scotland at, where it was just something to just get us outside, get us talking about the wedding industry and promoting us, but also promoting the venue. So we did some stuff at the likes of Balburney House, Inglewood House, Mar Hall. Or have I let that leak? We've got one from Mar Hall coming up. Where else have we done? Oh, I'm having a mind blank. Uh, where do we do live streams? Lochside House Hotel
I think
was
you've
another
done one at Bilbernie as well, didn't you?
one. But we did the roof of Balburney.
Yeah.
That's something I'll never do again. Is climb on that roof. I'll tell you that. But it was fun. It was just, you know what I mean. But we do have plans to do more. We're doing one at the Dalmahoy. We're looking at one at the George. We're looking at one in South Queensferry. So we are looking to doing more live streams and keeping them though, but also shows people what we do. It gives it
Yeah,
a little flavor because
yeah,
obviously seeing the entertainment and the adverts is amazing, but watching the videos and actually hearing the music and hearing it being played is and seeing the views of some of these venues is amazing. So it allows us to show what we're doing. Venacle Lochside, there we go, Trav. We did one. That was our first one at Venacle Lochside. It's a lovely little place outside Callendar, an amazing small wedding venue. It's got a fantastic view of the loch.
oh,
So
amazing.
yeah, we did some cool videos and shout out to the guys our R7C Media and We Are One Wedding Films for helping us produce them because without
Yeah.
them we would never been able to do the drone shots and all that kind of stuff. So it was really, really cool. And we had some great fun over lockdown. But we are ready to get back. Come on.
Yes, everyone is, I think, at this stage. That's probably the point where we're all in at the minute as well. I'm just checking if there's any more questions. I think we've covered pretty much all there is at the
Covered a
minute.
lot. We have what's your plan now for this? Obviously, lockdown starting to ease. You're maybe getting a few more smaller wedding ceremonies with 20 to 30 people. Are you fairly busy with it? What's the Oscar? What's going on?
There's a clear demand for weddings that are obviously socially distanced, weddings that are micro weddings. I would refer to them as very intimate, because the reality is that a lot of weddings that have been postponed or cancelled this year, and the reality is that weddings are booked a year, couple of years in advance. And the reality is that the prospect of waiting another year or till 2022, if the venue and the suppliers are not available, looking at all that sort of things and cross reference and everything, it is challenging for couples. And couples want to obviously still celebrate this year. So I'm seeing a lot more inquiries for the micro weddings
Yeah,
ceremonies followed by a meal for up to 8 guests in a little lodge or a little cottage or something like that. That seems to be quite a prevailing inquiry at the minute. But the exciting stuff is actually seeing inquiries and the influx of inquiries for late 21, 2022. I've even started getting inquiries for 2023 as well.
easy.
Um, that's what we're looking at the minute. And I suppose the reason why I decided to do the interactive Facebook Live interviews is actually bring that enthusiasm back to campus and show that we're ready, we're doing things, we're available, we're excited, we're
Yeah.
learning new things, we're looking at new alternative ways of doing things as well, and using this time actually to be ready and getting started as soon as we can. So
Well, that's
it
good. You're
is,
promoting the scene. You're
yeah,
promoting the wedding scene because a lot of people have forgotten about it. But what you're
yes,
doing is you're trying to keep that little aspect alive as best you can and put your name at the
definitely,
forefront. You're making content, and that is the number one thing that a lot of people aren't doing for this. They just sort of shrugged their shoulders and went, "Oh, it'll be." But you
yeah,
can't be like that. You need to stay. You need to stay focused and stay positive, and
definitely.
hoping. Hope is a big thing. I hope to get back to work by this end of this year. Whether or not it will happen, I don't know, but I can always hope. Fingers crossed, toes crossed, everything crossed. Let's go. Come on, make it happen. This is it. So yeah,
Definitely. Lovely, guys. Before we head away, I'm going to switch over to just a couple of more slides. So, a little bit of an overview on what I can do for yourselves in wedding planning. I can dramatically reduce the time you spend on your wedding planning. My services range from 1 hour consultations, individual consultations, particularly popular with maybe more intimate weddings or weddings that are doing things themselves. There's a lot of them. About 60% of the market at the minute is DIY weddings. And those couples quite often reach out to me just to make sure that things happen and they've covered everything. One couple was even called that a sanity check kind of appointment. It just gives couples a lot more confidence with the plans that they're going forward with as well. And the other service that I can provide you with is on the day coordination, and particularly popular with dry hire venues where maybe you don't have a wedding coordinator there and you need that bit of support on the wedding day. So I could be your right hand man. I can attend the final details appointment with you. I create a full form of details so that we cover everything, and I can liaise with the final details commitments with suppliers for you as well. So that's something that is brilliant. I have also had inquiries from couples that work with venue coordinators but wanted to have that extra support because maybe wedding coordinators aren't there on the wedding day and they wanted to have that support there as well. So that's another thing that I can do. And obviously, you've got the full wedding planning. So it's planning the wedding from the moment of inquiry to the wedding day itself, and helping with sourcing suppliers and liaising with everyone, getting the information together, putting the plan together, supporting with plans for the guests as well as they arrive to the destination as well. So that's more of a rounded support with wedding planning as well. If you'd want to find out a little bit more about the services I supply, head over to my website. I'll show you the details from my website shortly. And there's a link to book a free, commitment free as well, consultation, 15 minutes consultation on my website as well. We can talk about things and see if there's something that I can do to help you with your plans if you're feeling overwhelmed or need some specific support there as well. Just finally, before we head away, this was obviously one of the series of interviews that I'm doing. I'm doing these live interviews every Thursday at 6 p.m. on Facebook, and the Facebook Lives in my group and in my page as well. Next week, I am delighted to be hosting David McRoberts, pipe major from Bagpiper Online. We'll be talking all things entertainment from more of a traditional stance in Scotland. And David is super excited to be talking to you guys next week as well. So pop that date in your calendars and hopefully we'll see you next week as well. Just the final thing here on the screen, details for myself, and I'm going to pop your details, Euan, as well. If you wanted to get in touch with ourselves, you've got all the contact details on the screen just now. And before we head away, Euan, is there anything else you would like to finalize the interview with? Anything you would like to ask?
I want to get a quick photo for the gram. So,
hey.
So I'll just get the microphone and everything in it. Right? Big smile, 3, 2, 1.
Brilliant.
Absolutely fantastic. No, thank you very much for having me, Oscar. It's been absolutely wonderful. And I know we'll catch up with you soon at some point. So yeah, all the best. And thanks everyone to watching as well and all the wonderful questions and stuff like that. So yeah, there we go. If you want to get in touch, that's how you do it. Just like that.
Thank you very much, guys. Really appreciate you joining us. All the questions. It's been absolutely fantastic. Thank you very much for being so engaged. And if there's anything we can help you with, send us a wee direct message, pop the questions in the comments below. We will be coming back to them and responding as well. And if you're watching us on repeat again, comment #repeat in the comments below and we will cover everything for you. Guys, you have a fantastic evening. Thank you again for your engagement and I'll see you next Thursday. Bye, guys. Bye, Euan.
Bye.